there is a FEMA official who spoke under the condition of anonymity who says that the agency's practice of skipping Trump-supported houses or avoiding white or conservative-dominated disaster zones altogether is an open secret at the agency and has been going on for years. So, Ambassador, this is a statement given to the Post by an employee at FEMA. What is your response to that statement?
We have investigated this incident, and it is still under investigation. We are working with the Inspector General to determine whether or not this is broader than this. But the evidence that I have seen so far shows that this was an isolated incident, and it has not gone beyond what this one employee did.
Tonight's Red Hot video, FEMA Director Deanne Criswell grilled by Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill and not Democrats, following claims by a now fired whistleblower who was an employee of FEMA that she came out and said that the agency has been discriminating against Trump supporters. Trump sign in the front yard or sticker on your car or anything, and they just walk right past your house. You get nothing from FEMA. That whistleblower, whose name is Marnie Washington, was busted instructing her Florida team to skip homes with Trump signs or other identifying support during the Hurricane Milton relief efforts in Florida. Washington now has been alleging that her orders were not an isolated incident and that avoiding homes where crews could face political hostility, those are the words they use, is standard protocol for FEMA. And Congressman Jim Jordan asked Deanne Criswell the obvious question.
Administrator Criswell, is Miss Washington lying to us?
Ms. Washington has...
She said it's common practice. You said it's reprehensible and isolated. Both statements can't be true. So someone's not giving us the facts. It seems pretty common and matter of fact in the actual evidence we do have, the text message itself. But you're still saying Miss Washington and this other person aren't telling the truth.
When I received this text message, it was not in accordance with the way we conduct business at FEMA, and I directed
Even though it said
termination.
best practices, even though it said stay hydrated, which everyone would agree with, even though it said go in pairs, which everyone would agree with, even though it said bring a towel, make sure you're covered. I mean, it said coconut water is the best way to stay, even though it said all those practical things, the part about avoiding the Trump homes, that's not a best practice, that's not commonplace. Is that what you're saying?
That is nowhere in our policy, and I can't speak to
I'm not saying it's in your
motivations
policy.
behind what Ms. Washington did.
Yeah, it's none of the policy. They didn't write it down. It's just their practice. Now, Samantha, it's a classic case of, the government. And they're talking out of both sides of their mouths. We're getting two different stories. And one woman, the woman who was on the scene, saying, oh, yeah, we're under orders to just walk by the Trump houses. And then the bosses say, oh, no. So, what's a voter to do?
Yeah, I mean, this anecdote certainly confirms some of the worst fears that conservatives have been talking about, that this is another agency filled with activists, anti-Trump activists. And, conservatives in the wake of Hurricane Helene were pointing out, saying this response is inadequate, FEMA is not really getting the job done, and pointing some of this stuff out. And they were called conspiracy theorists, said that we were spreading disinformation, said that we're politicizing a hurricane. And here we have it that these people in Western North Carolina and Florida, in fact, may not have been getting the help that they needed, perhaps because they're Trump supporters. I mean, it's just, this is another agency that needs serious reform, and I know that President Trump will focus on that. I would also just, as a reminder, say, FEMA was also the agency flying illegal immigrants around the country using taxpayer money to resettle illegal immigrants instead of their core mission of helping Americans in the wake of a disaster. So